here we go again with buff bug tomboy hag. This time around, Corp Otis solo run. One that I'm genuinely surprised happened at all. I totally guessed that either of the other 3 stars included in the poll would win, but here we go. For our passives, we grab the usual duo of LCB Mersol and Zwei Sinclair for 20% damage reduction, Corp Gregor, for we will be clashing a lot, and Ting Tang Honglu for very much needed 20% bonus damage. Now, Corp Otis has issues. A lot of them. But that doesn't mean she's completely hopeless. So let's go through her pros and cons as we're getting through floor 1, clashing. It's complicated. On one hand, every single one of her skills is a one-coiner, meaning if we ever roll badly once, we lose the whole clash. But to offset that, all of her clash values are actually pretty high. So once we start winning, even on higher floors, we can just win some clashes easily. Skills. Outis has really, and I mean really good effects on her skills for a solo run. Her skill 1 and 3 buff allies, giving them either defense or offense. But thankfully she counts as her own ally, allowing us to get a lot of protection from just spamming skill 1 in a turn. The downside is, it's on hit, not on use. And with its low clash value, it can be difficult to pull off consistently. Alas, it is possible to become very resilient throughout the run. And scaling offense power up from skill 2 means that our damage will get higher and higher as the turns go on. Skill 3, aside of being a very strong nuke with chunky sinking amount, it is also gloom. You know, in case we find our most beloved Greycoat. Ego fueling. It comes to no surprise that fueling egos is a very important factor for some of these runs. Outis can in fact fuel one of her egos pretty well. Her Sand Shower, which on Uptime 4 became an AoE of weight 2. But bad AoE is better than no AoE at all, and the ability to hit 2 separate enemies will give us way more options on some more difficult nodes, till we figure out how to get the good ego at least. Speaking of which, Ebony Stem Apple. One of the most expensive egos in the game. I believe one of the 2 egos that require 4 separate Sin Affinities resources to use, at least as of making this video. As much as we cannot really use it innately, we could find a Zippoliter, which would open a brand new way of playing the game. Across floor 1 we grab CV, that as usual won't matter for our chargeless run. And Grimy Iron Stake, which has 100% uptime on all our abilities. Really can't complain. First boss being Crawling Inquisitors means that we can get past them quite easily, as long as we don't activate their instincts too hard, and even then, by the time they would do that, we can easily stagger them and move forward, and so we do that. For our first reward we get Voracious Hammer, out of lack of a better gift. We'll get some extra cost to spend in shops moving forward, so I wouldn't complain too much for it. And speaking of extra cost to spend in shops, we get aforementioned Zippoliter. We couldn't have gotten anything better at this stage. All we have to do is find an easy and unsuspecting node to exploit now. But before we get to our mischief, LCB, Rodia and Heathcliff joins us to crank up our damage further, alongside Chef Ryoshu that will help us sustain after each battle. And here we have our first Pekatula fight. Between Chef Ryoshu and Corp Gregor heals, we manage to stay out of stagger threshold, and after enough clashes, we get to the fun part of the run. Realistically, now that we have Zippoliter, we should always try to be above in resources. For at least one awakened and one overclocked E-body stem. This way we cannot get roadblocked too badly. And trust me, it is easy to get cornered into a full run reset on this one. Along floor 2 we grab Green Spirit, Pinpoint Logic Circuit, and Milepost of Survival, which neatly opened our path to the boss of floor 2 with barely any fights. It's always nice to have a bunch of events chaining into each other, especially early on where we are really reliant on getting nice assortment of gifts. Our floor 2 boss is sadly a human fight, but that's precisely why we farmed our Ebony stem. And considering 4 out of 5 enemies suffer severe skill issue against piercing damage, we can get through relatively easily. But with the fight done, we grab Sticky Muck, Recruit 7 Yisang, LCB Dawn, and LCCB Ishmael for extra clash power, pierce damage, and defense coin power. You know, for the fun part of the run. We get ourselves Oscillating Bracelet, and since Tremor is useless, and I don't just mean for this run, we take it purely to get it out of available Ego Gift Pool and move directly into an event that's actually useful. Crane and Coffee. At this point, you can slowly begin to expect how this run will look like outside of bosses very soon, with the amount of Ego resources generation we're getting. But Ebony is still one of the most expensive Ego to fire off, so let's try to be eco about it, at least for now, and rely on our self-sufficient Sunshower a bit more. Our next event is one that put this run on a path to victory, and I was not ready for it in the slightest. As we command nothing, we get Thorny Path, and the power of this Ego Gift has dodged my sight forever. If we include the sinking this gift gives us, our skill 3 inflicts a whopping 12 potency sinking of 3 count. Our sinking stacking has become terrifying, since you have to remember, we cannot really proc it too fast early on, allowing us to stack to insane amounts of sinking, and bursting it later for what we call in the business, the big damage. Our floor 3 fight is pretty much just a replay of floor 1, but with an extra beast that is on steroids, so mostly harmless. With a slight danger, but still harmless. Considering it is an abnormality fight, it is really easy to lock down the most threatening one, stagger it, and chill. And this is the time of the video I usually say thank you and subscribe, which you should, by the way. But yeah, I'm not gonna waste too much time for this. I will say that you should join the Discord so you can see me lose sanity while grinding the highest cycle on Railway 2 that I can, link in the description. And for now, let's just go back to the video, shall we? With Beast Stained, we grab Headless Portrait, fully committing into sinking, and our 600 cost is about to go absolutely crazy on that shop. We have 4 insanely good choices in front of us. Grey Coat is a gimme, it's a no-brainer, we pick it off immediately, as well as Phlebotomy Pack, which is really strong healing tool alongside it. The real question was, do I grab extra skill free, or do I gamble on Red Gossypium for some bleed synergies? And yeah, no, we're going full sinking. That extra bleed won't really help us as much. And with extra skill free, Not only do we clash like a beast, but also can activate the Gloom Resonance passive from the 5 Faust we just picked up easier. Right after, I prioritize Elite Fight over Pecatula, due to sheer confidence that not only I can clear it, thanks to our abundant resources at this point, and the fact that there was way more branching paths, giving us higher chance for a nice pathing across floor 4. Our pathing gets immediately rewarded by 2 event nodes, one with Scarlet Moths and another with Children Within Flask, which are both very powerful eco gifts for us right now. Before floor 4 finishes, we have a mandatory Corp vibe check. We stem them out of the way and move forward to the boss. And our boss is Clapper. I'm not gonna talk about the fight, I'm just gonna shut up. I was speechless when I did it, I am speechless now. This was the first attempt, with no restarts, no giving up. If it's scuffed and unrefined, that's why. My jaw went down when I saw how easy Outis took care of it. So for now, enjoy it, and I'll see you at the gift selection. And they gave us coin. We massacred the fish, and they give us a coin. It's literally extra skill coin we start with that is unclashable. And you know the drill by now. Every stem hits twice, equals no human fights, and we also get disc fragment, which, you know, generates resources based on gluttony ego skill used, which, you know, we proc our second gluttony ego skill for no ego resources because of the coin. Yep, the run is over. We essentially got an Exodia going around. After stemming up some nodes, we get to an event that gives us ashes to ashes, Pekatula fight giving us dust to dust, and that could have not been a more poetic way to finish our floor 5, so let's just get going with it. We are getting very close to the finish line, and with some insanely stacked ego gifts that we not only got but also keep getting. I just want to say thank you for watching, like the video, leave a comment, and I hope to see you again in the next video. This was Axel. Enjoy.
인정합니다. 저와 견줄 만한 지휘 실력을 갖추셨군요.